Hello everyone and welcome to Open Day at Deakin University. My name is Kelly Miller and I'm the course director for the Bachelor of Environmental Science, Environmental Management and Sustainability, and I'm presenting today with my colleague Associate Professor Raylene Cook, who is the course director for the Bachelor of Environmental Science, Wildlife and Conservation Biology. So in this session we'll provide you with an overview of our two environmental science courses at our Burwood campus, which is located approximately 30 minutes from Melbourne city centre. Both of these courses have been running for a long time and have evolved over that time as environmental issues change and different problems emerge. In environmental management and sustainability, we cover the full spectrum of environmental issues, from conservation and environmental protection to sustainable cities, pollution, resource recovery and waste management, and climate change. And we have a really strong focus on understanding the complex interactions between people and the environment and looking for solutions for more sustainable use of our environmental resources. In the Bachelor of Environmental Science, Wildlife and Conservation Biology, the course is designed to provide you with a really strong theoretical background and practical expertise in a range of discipline areas such as biodiversity, wildlife ecology, landscape and vegetation management, conservation, animal biology and park management. There's a really strong focus in this course on wildlife conservation, so if you enjoy being out in the field and working with animals, then this is a really great course for you. Both of these courses cover the impacts of human activity on our ecosystems and our environmental systems and look for solutions for more sustainable use of resources within these environments. We'll now show you two short videos to give you a quick snapshot of what we cover in the two courses, Environmental Management and Sustainability and Wildlife and Conservation Biology.
The environment is the entire world we live in. That's why we need to worry, both for the generations today and generations into the future.
Climate change is the most pressing issue of our time and we need to act on it now. One of the biggest dangers is that we leave it too long and we end up with feedback loops that will make it worse. That was really one of the main reasons I went back to study.
I study at the Burwood campus of Deakin. I really like that it's next to the Gardeners Creek. We do a lot of prac work down by the river, a lot of hands-on activities. What I enjoy about studying environmental management sustainability is that the course is very holistic. You get to have a taste of all the different aspects of environmental management, whether it's wildlife, waste, water, climate change. There's so many different things you can go into. You can really tailor it to your passions and interests.
The teaching staff at Deakin are really approachable. I'm the sort of student who asks lots of questions and that hasn't been a problem in my experience.
You really get the world experts on these topics coming to Deakin to teach you in their specialty, and they know the industry today. They're always out and about. They can tell you what's going on in the field right now.
Within the Deakin course we have a number of opportunities to go on day field trips.
We did things like going to coastal and catchment management, so we went all around the bay and looked at different types of landscapes, but we also learn about the policy that affects the different types of waste management to begin with, so learning about reducing, reusing, recycling, and also how to go about community engagement to try to get some of those messages across.
Over this previous summer, I had the opportunity to travel to the South Pacific, to Tuvalu, and see firsthand the real challenges of waste management, where they're too far from anything to recycle. It costs $2,000 a tonne in Tuvalu to send goods to recycle. Seeing firsthand the scale of some of the issues and also some of the challenges and barriers, and starting to think in both a specific way and a global way how we can solve those challenges.
The expeditions we go on are really to give you a real-world perspective on the problems that you learn in the classroom. So going out into the field, learning how the industry really works, how the policies are being put into action or not being put into action, it gives you a much more broad perspective on the things that you learn in the classroom.
Quite proud of the way that I've been able to get back into study and relearn how to study, particularly as a mature student.
Right now I'm working at a not-for-profit. We're working with environmental professionals, so I get to meet a lot of different people from these different industries and learn about what they're doing. But I'd like to go into sustainable development and apply my environmental management sustainability knowledge in that area.
There's a lot of opportunities in environmental management, not just within the environmental sector, but across the board.
Environmental planning, environmental policy, sustainability. A lot of people go into government, water management, waste management, working with Parks Victoria out in the natural environment. The world's your oyster.
The natural world is all we have. There's no planet B, as they say. And these species that have been evolving alongside us over millions and millions of years, I believe, have a right to be around as much as we do. Wildlife and conservation biology is the study of wildlife, their populations, what affects them, park management, all the things that affect the natural world.
This course is definitely hands-on. You do get all the background theory, but it's really important to be able to put that into context and work with these animals, work with the equipment.
The staff at Deakin are very passionate, enthusiastic about what they teach. They're very knowledgeable in what they do. You really feel like you're learning from experts in their field due to the background of experiences they've had in their careers.
With the course, there's lots of opportunities to go on field trips.
We go up to the Mallee and go to Little Desert. We go to the Grampians. Each camp focus on a variety of different skills.
I'm graceful. The purpose of Cape Conran is to get real hands-on experience in the field with industry equipment.
We get to learn a whole lot of skills, including animal tracking, animal trapping, animal identification, bird identification, park management, which is really important as well.
We've done lots of animal handling here. We've been trapping small mammals.
It's a real hands-on approach to how we monitor populations, making sure that those populations are healthy.
I've had some mishaps, but that's all part of the learning experience.
Okay, let it go, let it go, let it go.
And now I can say that I have successfully handled some small mammals.
I love you, bye.
So at Cape Conran we have our own lodges. They're nice and warm with fireplaces, but we're smack bang in the middle of nature on the beach. So we've got the luxury of the cabins, but we also get to go out in the field and experience the real environment.
Here at Cape Conran we get to work with Parks Victoria as well as the Department of Environment, Land, Water and Planning in how they facilitate park management and the issues that they face. The wildlife conservation degree offers a wide range of overseas opportunities, overseas placements for exchange as well, working with organisations all over the world, so you get a real global perspective. So being a mature age student, I always considered myself a conservationist and always worked within the environmental realm in some way or another. I worked as an underwater videographer, and through that I got to work with a group of scientists, and I realised I wanted to do what they were doing instead of watch what they were doing. And I think that anybody who has an attitude towards the natural world and wants to help the natural world will benefit from this wildlife and conservation biology degree, because it really takes every dimension of the environment and gives you a really in-depth knowledge of it and can open your eyes to areas that you didn't even know existed.
Ultimately for my career, I just want to work with nature. Exactly where that is yet, I'm not sure. But Deakin will be able to help me narrow down my career path and really find what occupation is meant for me.
A little snapshot of what we cover and show some of our students and staff in the classroom and also out in the field, and some of the things that you'll be doing if you come to Deakin. The other thing that we really love about our courses is that we have a really large team of educators and researchers involved in delivering these programs to you. So you can see some of the faces on the screen here. We're all research active. We have strong connections with our industry partners and the employers that you might look to find work with down the track after your course. And a lot of the people on the screen here are award-winning educators. So they're really passionate and experienced in delivering really high quality education for you as you go through your course. One of the things we focus a lot on in the two courses is that we're very much hands-on with industry. We call this work integrated learning or industry aligned learning, where we prepare you for a career from day one. So right from the first day that you start your course, we set you up to have those connections with industry, those employers that you might be wanting to work with after your course. So we offer you opportunities for volunteer work, for professional placement. There are formal professional placement opportunities along the way, especially at third year, but we also have lots of opportunity right from day one for you to meet with and learn from practitioners and complete assessment tasks and do projects working with us at the university, but also in the workplace, so that you're really set up, you're work ready as soon as you're ready to seek employment in the environment sector. We also work very closely with our advisory board. So in environmental science, we have an environmental sciences advisory board, and this is chaired by a partner from industry, and we have lots of representatives from industry on that board, and they meet with us several times a year to talk to us about current trends, current issues, what's happening in the workplace, what's happening in the profession, so that we can continue to enhance and update and evolve the courses to suit what's happening currently in the sector. So I'll now hand over to Raylene, who's going to talk a little bit about what we do in the field.
Thanks, Kelly, and thank you all for tuning in. As Kelly said at the start, my name is Raylene Cook and I'm the Course Director for Wildlife and Conservation Biology. What I wanted to talk to you today about is our amazing field programs. And these field programs are embedded throughout the course, and there is a major field program in every single year level. You saw in the video earlier on for the Wildlife and Conservation Biology students, that video was taken out at Cape Conran Coastal Park. And that is a first year field program that the students do. And on this field trip, they get hands-on experience in terms of catching animals, learning how to identify animals, microchipping animals, and lots of other skills that are required for a career in wildlife conservation. The other thing with these field programs is that it's not just about the technical skills, but it's also about the generic skills. And so being away gives the students the opportunity to sort of build friendships, work in small teams, and do things like catering for themselves, lighting their own fires to keep warm at night, lots and lots of different generic skills associated with the field programs. So what we do is we have field programs, as I said, embedded in every single year level. So the Cape Conran Coastal Park is our first year program. At second year, the students get to go to the Grampians National Park. And at the Grampians, students work in small teams. And this field program has a focus on teamwork, and the students work in a small team to develop a research project. And then when they're in the Grampians National Park, they actually get to undertake this research project, analyse results, and write up a report based on the field program. By the time the students get to third year, they go to the Great Otways National Park, and they also go to the Little Desert. And the beauty of these field programs is that they scaffold at each year level. And so what this means is that their skill base and the technical requirements get more intense, I suppose, as the field trips go on. And so by third year, the students are well and truly experienced about and comfortable being in the field, and they're in a position then that they're almost running the field trips for themselves. And we find that this is sort of really important. Employers really like this because what it's doing, it's putting their theory that they're learning into practice, getting the students out in the field and experiencing things firsthand, and then that goes on their resumes as sort of experience that they've gained throughout the degree. So we have the overnighters, and these overnight field trips vary from sort of 3 nights through to sort of 6 days, 5 nights. And we also have a lot of day trips associated with the degree, and I've got some examples up on the screen there for you. Think places like Western Port Bay, the Port of Melbourne, sustainable community centres. And these day trips are sort of run either in prac times during the week, sometimes they run on a weekend, but there's sort of lots and lots of, I guess, diverse areas that the students go to gain that hands-on experience. The other thing that we have absolutely realised over the last 5 years or so is the importance of the global perspective. Okay, anyone that sort of got an interest in the environment field would realise that the environmental issues are not just local issues; they are global, and there certainly are local issues there, but there are big global issues, and so it is really important with these degrees that they focus on the global side of things as well. And we find that this is something that the students absolutely love. It's an opportunity for them to go out overseas, immerse themselves in different cultures, learn how different countries are dealing with environmental issues, and also then bring that knowledge back. And so it's not just the Western view that they're carrying into the workforce when they're finished. So what I want to do is just run through a couple of examples of sort of global experiences that you can potentially do as part of these degrees. So the first one here is, if I can get the screen moving, is the Global Environmental Placement. This one is a really, really popular elective choice for the students to pick up. And we find that sort of over 80% of our students actually now are keen to get out and get an international experience. With the Global Environmental Placement, you can basically go anywhere in the world. We have, at Deakin, we offer 14 different programs that you can choose from, but you can also sort of look at other areas that potentially you might have an interest in that are not on our list, and we can certainly sort of work with you to sort of go anywhere in the world that you want to go I guess, provided it's safe and it's ethically, environmentally suitable. And so some of the examples of what the programs that Deakin offer are places like South Africa, and we can see in that top photo there, this is Matt with a rhino, and that is not blood, that is actually a dart. It's wax from a dart coming out of that rhino. And what Matt was involved in was sort of microchipping rhinos to combat for wildlife poaching. And so that was sort of something that Matt did. You can see down the bottom slide there, we've got Megan, and Megan went to the Maldives and was working with manta rays. We have other programs that go into the Amazon in Peru. We have Tuvalu here. We've got a couple of photos of students in Tuvalu. We send students to Nepal. We send them to Costa Rica to look at sea turtles. Lots and lots and lots of opportunities. And that, if that all sounds a bit too overwhelming, a bit too sort of far away, we also offer programs in New Zealand. And sometimes parents are a little bit more comfortable with that if it's a first overseas trip. But as I said, the global experiences are something that the students really enjoy, and we find that the employers really, really like, because it gives that different perspective. The other option that we have in terms of overseas activities is Borneo. Okay, and the Borneo trip is a long-running trip. This is now in its 9th year, and this is what we call a study tour. Okay, so it's a little bit different to the volunteering that I talked about on the previous slide. But in the Borneo study tour, Deakin staff go with the students. And what they do is they go to a number of different sites throughout Borneo. And this trip runs for around about 3 weeks, and the students get to immerse in local communities. They stay in local villages, and they certainly get exposed to the different wildlife conservation issues of a third world country, and also the sustainability issues. And so obviously Borneo is a lot different to Australia, and we find that the students absolutely love it. Okay, just being able to mix in those local communities and learn the local cultures is something that is really, really valuable, and the students then can bring that back and sort of apply that in their sort of thinking into the future. And we find that it's really, really valuable to go on resumes that the students have been exposed to a different culture. Students often come back and say it was a life-changing experience. And you can see in the photo, we've got Megan up the top there. And Megan went over there and realised that there was an absolute lack of environmental knowledge in school programs over in Borneo, and just that the idea of teaching kids, I guess, the importance of the environment. And so what Lucy did, she's now graduated, and she went on and she's actually opened up her own environmental education area, teaching kids the importance of the environment. And so as we can see, these skills and the experiences that the students gain from the international experiences is just something that stays with them forever, and we find that it's really valuable in terms of future careers.
Thanks, Raylene. So the other thing that is really important to remember about our courses in environmental science, is that there are multiple career pathways for you. You're not locked into one type of career or one type of job. And we find now that students and graduates are now moving around between different sectors, between different careers and between different jobs throughout their work life. So there are multiple different areas you can move into, and the screenshot there on the screen gives you a little bit of an idea of where we're at the moment with job opportunities for environmental scientists. So this is from a website which is an Australian government initiative. It's a guide to Australian careers, and it's called Job Outlook. So the website is at the bottom of the screen there, joboutlook.gov.au. And you can see there that they give you a little snapshot of the tasks that an environmental scientist would do, so the broad range of areas that an environmental scientist would work, but also some of the expected growth in the industry. So you can see there there is expectation that future growth for environmental science will be strong. And we're finding this more and more, that our graduates are not just working in what we used to see as the sort of typical traditional environmental organisations. They're actually working in a range of different sectors. So when we think about environmental management and conservation and sustainability, these issues are really important across all sectors. So we have students working in finance and business and health, and applying their skills to these different sectors as well. So really strong growth for the future we expect to see. We also encourage you to have a look at these types of websites. Now, not all of you will be located in Australia, but in other parts of the world, the trends are similar. We have these really big global problems and also local environmental problems that we need to deal with. And so we expect the growth to be strong at a global level. The other thing that we do in these courses is we focus very much on what we call graduate learning outcomes or transferable skills, so that you do have those skills to move around between different sectors. You're not just locked into one type of job. There's also lots of opportunity, aside from the career pathway, to do some further study after your course. So we have lots of opportunity at Deakin for further study. Some of our students, quite a lot of our students, will go on and do an honours project, an honours year, which is essentially a 9-month research project. So they'll team up with an academic, one of the, or a team of academics, to supervise the project, and you can really get some real depth of understanding in a particular topic or a particular issue. So the honours project would be the next step. And then we also have some other pathways as well, which we won't go into detail now, but a Master of Sustainability is available at Deakin, which is a 2-year program. And that gives you the opportunity to specialise in sustainable regional development or environmental management. And there are 2 pathways for that, a research pathway or an industry practice pathway. And of course, we also have opportunity for higher degrees by research, so PhDs and Masters by research as well. So lots of opportunity to extend your learning if you wish to do so after your undergraduate degree. So I'll pass back to Raylene now to talk to you about entry requirements.
Thanks, Kelly. So what I'm going to talk about now is how you actually get into these courses. So up on the screen there, you can see we've got the 2 courses listed. Both courses are 3-year degrees, and this is a 3-year degree for a full-time student. If you're a part-time student, then obviously it'll be a little bit longer. But the other thing with these degrees is there is the possibility that you can fast track through them to get through them a little bit quicker. Because these 2 degrees have units that run over 3 trimesters. Okay, so what that means is that we have what we call trimester 1, which is sort of the March through to June. We have a trimester 2, which is the July through to October, and we have what we call a trimester 3, which runs from November through to around about February. For those that may be a little bit older, that's sort of equivalent to the summer school type scenario, what we call our T3 unit offerings. But what this means, if you do units in T3, then you can potentially get through the degree a little bit quicker. Other students, well, lots of students choose just to maybe go with a lighter load and maybe only do 3 subjects in a trimester and pick up 1 or 2 over the summer, so you still take the 3 years in duration. Both degrees run off the Burwood campus, so the Melbourne campus at Burwood, and in that next column there you can see the ATARs. And so the ATARs there for Environmental Management and Sustainability, 60.35, and the ATAR for Wildlife and Conservation Biology is 74.2. Just want to point out though that these ATARs are just an indication, so that was the 2020 ATAR scores, but they are subject to change slightly year by year, so they do fluctuate a little bit, but that will just give you a rough idea of the ATARs to get in. Also some prerequisite stuff there, which I don't need to go through all of this with you, I don't think, but just in terms of the school leavers, so you need VCE Units 3 and 4 in English, and you apply through VTAC. If you are already currently studying in a tertiary institution, so you may be at a TAFE or you may be in a different degree, there's also other ways to get in, and so that they're listed there for you. Just to sum up, I just want to say again, thank you for tuning in today. And I just want to make the point, and I'm speaking on behalf of myself and of Kelly, we are extremely proud of our students. Okay, that's one thing that we find with our students is that they are really, really passionate about the environment. They come into the degrees, they absolutely love the degrees. They get to know each other like really well, and they form really strong cohorts. And they've got each other as support bases. And the other thing is, people quite often say to me, do you ever think about working anywhere else? And I sort of go, well, why would I? Work with the best staff. And Kelly and I have both been at Deakin for a long time, and we are so grateful that the Enviro staff are just a really tight-knit group that all get along. We actually all like each other, and we are always there for the students. Our priority is always student first, and we have an open door policy where we will help you out wherever we can. And so we are, as I said, we are really proud of our current students. We keep in contact with our graduates, and that's something that we see is really important, because that means that our current undergrads can then be sort of mixing with our graduates, and we find that that works really well for employment, because we find that we have lots and lots and lots of students now working like in the industry, we absolutely believe that we have the best Enviro courses in the country. And if you come along to Deakin, you will certainly get the hands-on opportunities, and you'll get those right from first year, and they're embedded right throughout the degree. Lots and lots of opportunities for you to volunteer, and you can again, you're encouraged to do that right from first year, and that is sort of getting you in contact and networking with industry, and lots and lots and lots of international opportunities. So good luck with all the decision making. Please be in contact with us if you have any questions, and we really do hope that we see you next year. I'd ask you to hang on the line now, because we have a live session, a live Q&A session. So if there's sort of any questions that have come out through today's presentation, please stay on the line and we'll be able to answer them for you. Thank you. Bye.